Hello and welcome to KerbalVision subscribers and non-subscribers. Today we are going to be doing a Kerbal Space Program 2 mission to Dres and back to Kerban. So it's going to be there and back mission, probably is the proper name for it, but we're going to stick for that for now. Anyway, getting to the construction. Here we are constructing the lander. This is the top stage for the lander. I added 2 stages just because this is going to have to, come up to the other part of the rocket, transfer vehicle. So, I added extra fuel just because I'm not the best with docking parts together, so I just decided I'd add extra fuel. There's definitely a lot, probably too much fuel there, but who cares? I don't think anyone cares, but anyway. Now strutting everything down, unfortunately in KSP2 you have to add just the right amount of struts. You can't have too many struts and you can't have not enough struts. Not enough struts will mean wobbly, too many struts will mean a crack and attack, so you have to be very cautious with the amount of struts you use and where you place them and how it works, because it's just the system that KSP2 has, unfortunately. Anyway, here we are putting some parachutes on the lower stage. The Kerban re-entry stage, and here is the stage that's going to get us to Dres and back again. So, not sure what the full name is for it, but anyway, there we got all that extra fuel there, plenty of fuel to get to where we need to go, adding enough struts. You could probably, more experienced people would be able to use less fuel, but I think that's just the right amount of fuel for me at least. Anyway, putting on some solar panels for the rocket, so we can generate power on that. I'm not quite sure if KSB2's got power physics yet, like electricity physics. I don't know, tell me that in the comments. And here we are strutting the top section and the bottom section together. And by the way, I'll do when I'm launching, which is a bit in the future, I will be having I will have done a few little tweaks to the fuel to the rocket, so it will quite possibly look a little bit different than what the construction is. I mean, it should look pretty much the same, but I added some different engines into it. Anyway, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Anyway, we're adding Mammoth engine there. That's where I changed that to 9 vector engines when after at launch. It didn't get included in the build timelapse because I'd done some testing and I needed to change it. So anyway, here we are putting a fairing around this part of the rocket. Losing my breath. Fixing up the fairing. I wish that the fairing at launch would keep the colors on it. Anyway, sorting out the staging and putting in Kerbals, and here we are cross-threading to the launch. It's coming in a second. Now we're managing the Kerbals, and here we are at the launch. So yeah, I added the 9 vector engines on the middle stage, the middle part of the rocket. So we're going up a bit quicker, and we'll have more control over the rocket, because it doesn't matter how much drag you put at the bottom of the rocket, it always seems to want to flip over, so weight and drag at the bottom of the rocket doesn't seem to make too much of a difference, unfortunately. Anyway, coming up past the cloud layer, and slowly are pushing our way to orbit. And I'll probably quiet down now and just let the music take over the launch part, at least for now. So now that we've gotten past the atmosphere. I had just a little cutout in the video just to listen to the music and have the rocket going up. This we are going to be having a this is the lower stage. Getting my words tangled up. The lower stage is a SSTO, which is quite impressive actually. I think Marvin Huber did a rocket. Like the base part of the rocket was like just like this. So like it was just the same, pretty much the same design, or pretty similar at least. And it was able to get to orbit. I don't know why, but I think the vector engines are more efficient than the mammoth engines, which is a bit unusual because I originally had intended to use that middle stage for mammoth, and it definitely couldn't get over 4,000 meters per second in it. So I think the vector engines are, what would you call, the vector engines are more efficient. Excuse me, I'm just a bit tired at the moment. Anyway, I'm just trying to adjust myself because my orbit was a little bit, like, funny, egg-shaped, if you want to call it like that. So, this is just trying to turn the rocket. I'm not sure, do you want more, like, a commentary over a cinematic video, or do you want more, like, a communication-ish talking to me? I really should be making this a big deal. If you want more cinematic-y, or you want me more talking, like, which one do you want more? Marvin Huber, I know you're gonna comment on this, because, and I'm happy you will, because I do need to know, well, I would like to know at least, which would be great, just to know, which is better, more cinematic-y with commentary approach, or more commentary approach, and just, like, have, kind of, like, just a mission, like how Matt Lown does. Also, I hope Matt Lown does a new KSP video sometime soon. He seemed to quiet down on the KSP videos. Not sure why, but I hope he gets back to them soon, because his missions are quite good. Anyway, using that big, what is it called again? Nuclear engine into orbit, and you could see there, or at least back then, there was a little problem with the engine, like where it's brightening up, like it's going really bright. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is there, but it's some bug to do with KSP 2, so hopefully that gets fixed. I was gonna tell the devs about it, but it's a pretty common issue, so I'm expecting someone else would have told them. So I probably will quiet down every now and again, just because I need to think of what to say, and we're gonna go for a more cinematic approach for this video. So I'll probably go quiet every now and again, but tell me how it turns out. I'm still experimenting in KSP 2. So, I mean, I'm experimenting on YouTube, so I'm not going to get it right first try. Anyway, here we are, just making our maneuver node to get to Dres. It took me about 5 times to make this. No, not 5 times, like 2 or 3 times to get a maneuver node to actually get into Dres's SOI. So it was a little bit difficult. Anyway, we got an encounter. One thing I doubt the devs would be watching this, but if someone happened to know some connections, it'd be really good if they had that periapsis marker on your, like, rocket there. Not exactly because you need to see how high you are, but just because you need to, it just makes it easier to figure out where the orbit line is. Like, a lot of the time, I'll think, okay, I've got the orbit line around the planet, wrapping around the planet, but when I go to look at it properly, I notice it's up on the edge of the SOI, and it actually just looked like it was coming around the planet. So if there, in KSP1 where there's a periapsis line there, it's a lot easier to work with. So if someone has some connections, it'd be great for the dev team to work on that, because that'd be really handy. And that's when you're out of the other object SOI, I should say. Anyway, so this is either second or third adjustment we're doing to try and get into Dres's, like, get properly into, like, a proper spot to encounter Dres at. As I'm very slowly making my way around using the rocket, trying to maneuver it, and this actually takes me a little while. I probably should have cut it out, but you're gonna have to sit through it and encounter the torture with me. But alright, yeah, I should have cut that out. It's gonna be quite boringly long. but I just don't want to be called a cheater for turning on cheats for KSP. Just want to make sure I actually seem legit, because I don't use cheats, and I don't want to seem like I use cheats. Because I do have a cheats menu there, but I only use it when I'm not in my videos, and I'm just trying to use it like as a thumbnail, trying to sort out thumbnails or anything like that. I just turn it on because it makes things easier. But also we got a problem here. I can't seem to get to show, it won't show me where my orbit line is, so around Dres, like into the movement. Now it's working, but I don't know why it wasn't before. Probably wasn't recognizing it or something. Anyway, here we are at the ringed, dotted, and canyoned Dres. Probably the most interesting planet out there now. I'm not sure if I should, probably, this rocket here probably has enough fuel to deliver, like, if I had this rocket and I just got rid of the payload, and I put a rover on the top of it, this would probably have enough power easily to get to Lathe and the drilling system. In fact, we might even be able to get to Elu. What do you think? Should I do that? Because that'd be a really awesome mission if I was to go to Elu, take a rover to Elu. Because I'm pretty sure only Matt's actually gone to Elu yet. Oh, probably someone else has, and that just doesn't show up on my YouTube page, but I'm pretty sure no one else actually really has done a... Well, I mean, there probably definitely are people that have done it, but, like... You know what I mean, it's not a particularly common mission that anyone's really done, so... It'd be fun to try and go to Elu. Be interesting too. And here I am just very slowly making my way around, turning to the right spot. Right spot to perform the maneuver. I think I over warped a little bit. And you may have also noticed, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, I've actually got a mod called Better Time Warp installed. Basically allows full time warping in KSP 2, so it's a very awesome mod. I highly recommend it because it just allows you to do so much more with it, but like you don't have to worry about time warp slowing down when you're around Kerban. Like if you get a rocket into Kerban's, if you got to start again, if you have a rocket in orbit around Kerban, and you have forgotten to get your transfer window set up in the tracking station, you can just use the normal time warp to get to get the planet in the right spot rather than having to worry about going to the tracking station, because yeah, it just adds a little extra part of difficulty. And here we are arriving at Dres. I really should have turned the UI off every now and again, just so it looked better, but I didn't. Anyway, also you can see there, I don't know why every time I try and mention it, I changed the map view, but you've got that little graphical issue with the nuclear engine. Anyway, now here we are decreasing our orbit to around Dres. When we finally finished turning over, I completely forgot to add reaction wheels to this rocket, and that's why it's going so slow. And as you can see here, I was trying to figure out if I had any extra fuel, because as you can see, I've only got 1,000 meters per second left, but I completely forgot at the time that when I detached my lander from the rocket, and then after I'd finished delivering the Kerbals back to the main mothership, I'm actually gonna have a lot more fuel. So in the end, I ended up with 3,000 meters per second. So easily plenty. Anyway, here we are decreasing our orbit to... well, actually I was increasing it because I had a problem with the orientation on the capsule. Anyway, I didn't really need it to... So here we are warping around to the right spot, and I'm probably just going to quiet down for the landing part and let some music kick in. So I will see you after the landing. we have landed and our rocket is doing a dance. So now we have landed successfully on Dres, and I have no idea why I opened that, but we are going to get the Kerbals out now after we've extended the solar panels and turned on the lights. Get him mounted, plant a flag, and we will get the other Kerbals. Actually, I won't spoil it. Try and keep people watching for as long as they possibly can. It'd be good if you kept on watching. I mean, if you made it halfway, you're probably going to keep on watching for a while, but stick around. Don't leave. So now we planted the flag, and now we are going to create a Kerbal tower. I kind of got enthused to do this from one of Marvin Huber's missions. I guess I'm a bit of a copycat, but there's only so many things you can do in KSP and KSP2 until they've finished releasing some of the updates, like colonies and extra planets and that really awesome stuff. Anyway, here we are landing our Kerbal on top of the other Kerbals. I think he landed on the flag there, actually. Anyway, now we're trying to land him on Valentina's head. I think this is either Bob or Bill. No, it wouldn't be Bob. It's either Bob or Jebediah. I'm pretty sure it's Bob. Or Tim C. Kerman. Actually, no, I don't think Bob came on the mission. But anyway, might have been part of the thumbnail. And anyway, now we had a little problem here. Valentina's jetpack didn't seem to want to work, so not sure what happened there. But I actually used a cheats menu, which it is a mod that I installed as a cheats menu. Believe me, I haven't used it. This is the only time I was using it in this whole mission, actually. This entire mission, this is the only time I used it. I disabled gravity, and it messed up quite a few things. I was trying to land on the rocket without having to use jetpack, but then I suddenly enabled gravity again, and there was a big consequence for that, which you'll see soon. And you probably can already guess what the problem is, but after quick loading, the jetpack seemed to work pretty fine. This is other Tim C. Kerman. But I accidentally hooked up to Jebediah, and Valentina somehow managed to stay on his head. So we'll just very cautiously get our way over there. And Valentina's jetpack seems to be working fine now, so probably some little bug there. Anyway, now you're about to see the problem we're having. You can see my rocket there. Disabling and enabling gravity has messed up its trajectory, so we're gonna have to fix that up, which is wasting a little bit extra fuel, but in the end, I think we had like about 100 meters per second, a bit more to spare, so plenty of fuel. I didn't want to bother about using too much more fuel trying to get it too spectacular, so I was thinking about doing it, but I decided I wouldn't. Anyway, now switching to the craft here, and we're going to try and get a Rendevorers. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but anyway, Rendevorers is that's the best shot I have. Anyway, now we are, I don't know why, but every time I went to the map screen, the rocket suddenly began tumbling everywhere, so no clue what happened there, but anyway. See, I just did it again. Some bug with the map screen. Anyway, I didn't need to worry about that now, because I've already got my maneuver. I was going to make a maneuver note here to try and correct it. I did fulfill it, didn't I? Anyway. And, yeah, there's not much more to talk about. Well, I guess I can share a few little stories I have. Yeah, I'll probably just share one, though. The story I'm going to tell today is why I'm very tired at the moment. In case you can't tell with my commentary, I'm having trouble keeping my concentration on it. I'm quite tired, and the reason for that is I live on a farm with roosters. I live on the upstairs part of the house, and I live right on the, wool part. And you don't know how loud roosters are until you've lived with them. That night, I think it was last night or the night before, I was really tired, and all through the night, I forgot to put the roosters away, and they kept on crowing. They don't usually crow through the night, but that night they did, and it just kept me awake, and oh boy was it tiring. There was just They're so loud. You just don't realize the torture of living on a farm with roosters until you have. They are the most noisy creatures ever. So it was quite tiring, and yeah, so that's basically why I'm tired. Anyway, I finally found an orbit where we were getting closer to the rocket. I guess the Kerbals, I mean, they have got an extra seat there, but I guess it's a bit hard for them all to squeeze, like, sleeping-wise. Anyway. So, I should probably talk a bit slower so I don't run out of things to say all the time. Anyway, here we are coming up to the rocket, and we're going to crash into it. We'll get very close to crashing into it at one point. Actually, we did we start again. We did actually bump into a part of the solar panel on it. And I don't know why I needed to say that before it had actually happened. I need to work on not saying things that haven't happened yet. I need to work on commentaries. I probably should have like little notes of what I need to say during the mission. Or something like that. And anyway, here we have got the mothership right there. And just trying to catch up with it so we don't float away from it. And I probably should have checked the meters per second difference with it, and I time warped and it began going away. So I stopped the time warp. I was trying to get to the daylight side so I could actually see what I was doing. I wasn't flying blind. Anyway, I was just trying to see how far away the daylight side was. Anyway, so I time warp there, and there's the rocket right there, ready to catch up with. And I guess I've kind of run out of things to say. I'm probably quiet down again, for now at least. Oh well, we are transferring the Kerbals to the main rocket ship, and putting them in, and we'll be getting ready to head home, back to Kerban. Well, I guess we are a little bit away from doing that because we've still got to had a little crash there into the main ship. We've got a little bit more like waiting to do till the Kerbans at a angle which we can go to at safely. Anyway, yeah. So I'm probably gonna I'm more like the cinematic-y kind of approach of things, like where you have, like, I just announce some of the parts happening in the mission, but it's mostly like, like half and half. It's half and half. Like, you know what? You should hopefully you know what I mean. I was thinking about going into the rings of Dres, but it just didn't happen. I didn't want to bother myself too much more because going back to Kerban was quite difficult. I have no idea why, but it was just plain difficult. It at least took me 2 hours just to get back to Kerban from this position, like right here. Because every time I tried to get back to Kerban, that's probably because my orbit was backwards around Dres. It wasn't the right way. But every time I tried to get back to Kerban, it just never worked. So I skipped past all of my failed attempts, and I skipped to the only one that worked. And that was basically just getting myself into an orbit around the Kerbal, or the sun, and from there, they're planning my way to Kerban. It was the only way that actually worked, so that's what I have to deal with. And now we're going away from Dres for the last time, probably for these Kerbals' lives. I mean, if I don't end up starting another save, I might take them to some other planets, but anyway, here we are planning the maneuver node going back to Kerban, and yeah. And as always, there's 2 problems in Kerbal Space Program 2. The maneuver nodes are rarely accurate, like proper accurate, and the next problem is that when you time warp while like firing the engine, my rocket always seems to turn away from the maneuver node. I don't know why it does that, but it always does. Maybe it has something to do with the time warp mod, but I'm not going any higher than the normal amount that they allow you to, so it's... Yeah, it's strange. I don't know why. Anyway, I just basically had to deal out the long burns, like a 1 minute burn. I just get my phone and watch a YouTube short or something, and then it was done. But, I think, yeah, I'm doing the burn now. It was, much slower in real life than it is here. I think it's probably more like 30 seconds in this, but in there it was a lot faster. I mean, a lot slower. And I'm not quite sure why it's telling me I overcooked it there, but yeah, there's some funny stuff going on with the maneuver nodes. I mean, it might be partly to do with the uh, community bug fixes, but I don't know. They're not usually very accurate. Anyway, oh dear, I just realized I've been saying anyway this entire mission. If someone happened to be counting it, I guarantee you probably would be something close to the 100th by now. And getting into the anyway season, it's kind of funny. I sometimes, uh, where I stay at the moment, sometimes people find it quite funny because you always, sometimes I won't be saying anyways at all, and then I start coming into winter and I start saying anyways all the time. I have no idea why I do it, but it's just, I don't know, habitish kind of. But I wasn't wanting to risk flying out around Kerban. I mean, doubt that would happen, but I wasn't wanting to risk it, so I did eventually push myself into like coming in into a crash course with Kerban, not just like atmospheric braking. So now we'll time warp down to Kerban and oh no, the maneuver node. We need to get to the maneuver node first and perform the maneuver. When the maneuver finishes, at least we will perform it. And yeah, so like I mentioned at the end of this video, I'll probably have a little video showing some of my little problems I had with this mission, just for the fun of it. Anyway, we got ourselves pretty close. I made a little adjustment when we got into Kerban's SOI, just so I could see work things a bit better. So yeah. Thanks for sticking around for this mission so far. Not many people stick around to this point, so you have my thanks for watching this long into the video, uh, if you're still watching, so thank you so much for that. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, I may as well ask you right now to give the video a like, subscribe, share the video if you found it really that good, but I wouldn't share it myself, but I probably shouldn't say that since I'm the one asking for it. But, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, notification bell so you don't miss any videos. I make maybe like 1 or 2 per week. I may slow down every now and again and make like one per month, but I don't think that's going to happen too often. Uh, anyway, now that that's out of the way, as you can see, I'm just trying to slow myself down a little bit before we enter the atmosphere. I haven't gotten atmospheric effects yet, but who cares? Just use the last of the fuel in the lower stage for a purpose, so we're not busting the parachutes when we come in. So now we are coming down, and that's basically the mission wrapped up. So like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. You're the viewer that's watching this. You're the only reason I'm still alive on YouTube and the algorithm recognizes me. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.